Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Oris Daniel. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click on the red button that says subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you will be notified each time I upload a new video. There's a series I'm doing as well titled The Devil's Show. You will gain a lot from it. It's a concept God gave to me to help someone fulfill his or her dreams. This year it exposes the plans of the enemy, and it exposes how the enemy makes us not to fulfill our dreams and purposes. So check it out. It's also on this channel. Check my previous review of GBEMI Part 2 Episode 1. Check the review. Alright, please kindly subscribe. I have a goal to reach up to like 500 subscribers before the end of January. Please help me fulfill that dream. Kindly subscribe. Help a brother grow his channel. Kindly subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll give you 1 second to do that. Have you done that? Are you sure? Thank you very much. All right, let's dive into today's topic. I'll be reviewing GBEMI Part 2 Episode 2. GBEMI Part 2 Episode 2. Yes. Alright, GBEMI Part 2 Episode 2 features John, played by Femi Adebile, GBEMI, played by Emanuela Magbamiloye, Tara, played by Ihoma Ogunyomi, and Boyega, played by Kayode Babalola. Alright, the story was written by Emanuela Magbamiloye, directed by Damilola Magbamiloye, DOP on the set, Damilola Magbamiloye, the sound, Yomi Odushino, editing, Ruth Adepoju, the makeup artist on the set, Adenike Owa. Alright, GBEMI continues from where Part 2 Episode 1 stopped. At this time, GBEMI lost her pregnancy, and Brother John had already announced to everybody, the workers in church and everybody, that they're expecting a baby. I think there's a lesson for us to learn, not to be quick to announce our testimonies when the time is not yet right. I think that's the take-home lesson. This movie is for everyone. I don't think it's for only people that are expecting the fruit of the womb. Some people might have this misconception that this movie is only directed to people that are expecting or waiting for the fruit of the womb. But each and every one of us, including you watching this review, you are in one waiting room or the other. So this message is for all of us. Brilliant message, brilliant story, brilliant script. Brother John, on the other hand, almost gets set up by Sister Buki, who has been hitting on him for quite a long time now. Due to his carelessness, he almost got set up, if not for the tiny intervention of the Holy Spirit and his wife, or his praying wife, GBEMI. I think GBEMI also played a part in being, do I say carelessness, or being, GBEMI also was a kind of careless when it comes to Buki's issue with her husband. I think so. I'm going to explain that as this review unfolds. At the end of the day, I think GBEMI miscarried the baby, and then the waiting room was prolonged. She got advice from her mother to see a prophet, and she refused. I think that also is another lesson for us, to stand our ground. Once we know that what God has told us, we should stand on our ground and do not listen to any other person, no matter who the person is. Not that we should be rude, but we should stand our ground and stand on what God has told us. I think GBEMI is that type, so I think all of us should be like GBEMI in that aspect. All right, without any further ado, let me go straight into the things that I felt I loved about the work, and the things that did not really sit down quite well with me about GBEMI. The first thing being that Mrs. Tara's character and her husband, Kayode Babalola's character, at the end of the film, seemed to kind of let go of everything after Mrs. Tara's character's nude, semi-nude photos have been released on Instagram. I just felt that wouldn't be the end of Boyega's ex-girlfriend's ordeal. I think she should be made to face the law. I think you had already released my wife's semi-nude photos online on Instagram, and then is it that because you release my daughter back to me and then we'll forget about that and then just leave you like that? I think she should be made to face the law. I think there should be a punishment for that, for releasing someone's semi-nude photos online and then just going scot-free. Though nothing was said, but I felt like that in that aspect she should be made to face the law, even though the Holy Spirit had intervened, or she had encountered God through Imade. I just felt she should still be made to face the law. Next thing was that I felt GBEMI's character was a kind of careless with Buki and Brother John. Seeing the fact that in part 1 there was a time when Brother John explained to GBEMI that Sister Buki brought a lot of food and he was happy, he ate the food, and then all GBEMI could say was that since you are now eating in the office, don't expect me to cook for you again, blah 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 blah. I just felt she should have given him a stern warning afterwards that I don't want to see you with this lady or coming close to this lady, even in your office. She should have given him a stern warning. Apart from the spiritual aspect, she should also have counseled her husband, rebuked her husband's character of always entertaining Sister Buki in his office. You know, the way our women are with their husband, they don't joke with them. I just felt that she should have clearly rebuked her husband for entertaining Buki's character into his office, and even giving him food to eat, not only saying, since you have eaten in the office, I won't cook for you again next time. I think that wasn't enough. Moving on to another scene in part 2 where she caught them hugging. I think that is even enough for her to, after praying, though they are trying to portray the fact that GBEMI is a kind of God-fearing woman that doesn't really fight, she's calm and she knows how to handle situations, but not in the case of her husband, not in this scenario. Even if you have prayed to the Holy Spirit, you need to counsel your husband, you need to draw the ears of your husband that I don't want to see you with this lady. I saw you the other time, you told me she cooked for you, now it didn't stop. I told you that now I'm seeing her hugging you in your office. I don't want to see that lady in your office anymore. There was nothing like that. GBEMI said nothing like that. There was only and then I think that gave Sister Buki's character the confidence to keep pursuing Brother John, because his wife didn't really handle the situation completely. And I think that was why the thing led to what it almost led to, if not the tiny intervention of the Holy Spirit. Next thing that didn't really sit down well with me was Imade's character in the kidnapper's den. It was portrayed as night scene, and then when they get back to Mrs. Tara's home, where Kayode Babalola's character, Mr. Boyega, were waiting for Imade's return, it is daytime scene. I felt there was continuity issue. I think if it's night scene in the kidnappers den, then it should be night scene in Mrs. Tara's home, where they are anxiously waiting for their daughter to return. If you watch it, you understand what I'm talking about. Next thing was that I think ADR was used in most of the audio of this movie. I felt the original sound, maybe it was lost on set and they had to call almost all the cast and almost all the scenes to re-record their lines in the studio. That made it a kind of loud, a kind of unrealistic to some extent. I don't really know, but I just felt like ADR was used in some areas or in some parts of this film. Next thing was that I think in the scene where Mrs. Tara was almost committing suicide, I think Kayode Babalola's character and his mother would have got someone quickly to break down that door, not waiting that long that they waited. I think they waited almost for like 30 minutes, and then one of them could have gone to call somebody to pull down that door earlier than they did. I mean, eventually he pulled down the door, but I think the wait was too long. Though there was confusion, I know, but I think the wait was too long, and that might not happen like that in a real life situation. Next thing was the miscarriage scene. I just felt there is no how GBEMI would miscarry that baby, and then Bro John would not know immediately, and then he will have to wake up later on in the night, then discover it by himself, and then reach out to GBEMI from the toilet or from the bedroom while she was in the toilet. I just felt that even the pain, or she would have screamed or something immediately the miscarriage happened. I don't know, but correct me in the comment section if I am wrong. I just felt him waking up by himself to discover there is a miscarriage, GBEMI telling him, I just felt that didn't really, I just felt it's not really realistic for me. He should have known earlier than he knew. Next thing was that I think in the kidnapper scene, I know they're trying to portray the fact that Imade was not tense, she was not really afraid, but I think they should have at least brought down her makeup a bit. At least she is somebody that has been in school and had a hectic day. I think the makeup, her face should have been a bit sweaty, and her makeup should have been toned down a bit just to depict that night, that scene that she is in the hands of the kidnappers. Then maybe her words will be the one that will have confidence, but not her facial appearance. So the things I loved about this movie, GBEMI is actually a great movie. The script was beautiful, the lines were very heavy, the directing was okay, apart from some little continuity issues that were here and there. I think the work was amazing. It was even better than season 1. The work was amazing. GBEMI from part 1 was improving consistently to the last part, which is part 2, episode 2. The improvement was growing. We're not disappointed. The improvement was growing, and it kept improving and getting better till the end of the work. Kudos to Damilola Magbamiloye for a brilliant performance, for a brilliant work. I must say this film is a must watch. Should you watch it? Why not? Yes, I learned a lot from this movie. Thank you very much for watching this movie review. My name remains always Daniel. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Until I see you later in the next one. Catch you all later.